now we got to add a little more to this episode. So now we're doing our awards predictions. We did one at the beginning of the year. And now that the year's played out, kind of easier to predict these, but still some of them we don't really know. So I guess we'll start with the big Hona MVP. Let me see if I can pull up. I know who. I'll see if I can pull up. I'm not sure if I wrote yours down. I wrote mine down, but anyways, I think at the beginning of the year, I'm trying to see. Oh, beginning of the year, I picked Mahomes, which I think would have been a no-brainer, but the way he's played hasn't really worked out. Do you remember who you picked?
Yeah, I took Josh Allen, which I
Okay.
don't know the odds right now, but he's not. He's not
As
gonna
much as I
win.
love Josh Allen, I think it's really just Rodgers, honestly.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the odds right now, Rodgers, I believe, is the betting favorite. Brady's in there because he has more touchdowns,
And yards,
yards,
you
and completions, but he also has way
more
more
interception.
attempts, more interceptions, completion percentage, and lower QBR.
Okay. So yeah,
So
I would go. I would. I'm not me just being objective too. I would say Rodgers would be who I would put my if I had put money. I'm not putting money on it, but if I had put money, that's who I would think would end up with it as of today, January 13th. Just like you mentioned, one of the greatest gunslingers, but also takes care of the football. Because I think we've all seen the absurd amount of absurd fact that he's thrown so little interceptions as opposed to touchdowns. So yeah, that's who I got. And that's not me being a Packer fan. And if you know the podcast, I'm very pessimistic to my Packers anyway. So I'm guessing you feel Rodgers probably the same too. Do we just move on?
yeah, I'm gonna predict Rodgers, but I also even just aside from who I think will win it, I would take Rodgers.
Yeah,
Sure, Brady has better yards, better touchdowns, stuff like that, but like you said, the interceptions and also like the Buccaneers, I
they're a
think are the
pretty
most
good team.
pass. They're the most pass heavy team in the league. So
I
like
mean,
having the better stats like doesn't necessarily impress me a bunch when it comes to like yards and touchdowns just because I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he's attempted a lot of passes. Like I think over the last like couple of months, he was attempting like 43 passes a game. They're one of the least run heavy teams, so like there's just way more opportunities for him to throw it compared to Rodgers. So,
yeah.
and the fact that Rodgers even has comparable numbers, yeah, I think I'd take him, especially with that 4 interception mark.
And
That's
Rodgers
really
missed
good.
the game too because of
Yeah,
yeah, he got COVID. So that one was easy. Uh, this one will be quick too. Defensive play of the year. I feel like we both are saying T.J. Watt. I initially had Aaron Donald, which once again probably was the betting favorite coming into the season. But I'm sure T.J. wasn't too far behind. But yeah, I would say T.J. Watt would be my
I,
vote and prediction.
yeah. I predict TJ Watt and pick him as well. I believe I took Miles Garrett
Yeah,
before the year.
like
I might be wrong on that. I don't think I took TJ. I took TJ last year.
so close.
Just my luck. But
Yeah,
yeah, TJ Watt.
yeah. Miles Garrett, I think also was in my consideration too, along with T.J. Watt. But so yeah, there we go. There. Coach of the year is very interesting. I had Matt Rule, which unfortunately for him, it was looking like he was on his way, and then it all fell apart there. I'm trying to think.
I
I
think I
mean,
took Brandon Staley.
which, yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyways, not bad choice. I mean, it's a pretty good choice. Is this the year like Matt LaFleur finally gets it? Like I would throw him up there. Um,
I'm gonna look at the playoff standings. I think it's gonna be Mike Vrabel. That's what I'm gonna predict
Mike
because
Vrabel does deserve it. Yeah,
The Derrick Henry injury,
and
that
then
sort of storyline, and then getting the first seed
and
still.
Julio's been in and out, and same
Yeah,
with AJ
AJ Brown
Brown.
had some injuries. Yeah,
And no one wants to give Ryan Tannehill any credit for just
yeah,
being solid while they were all gone.
yeah. All their corners have been hurt too. The first round pick Farley's been hurt a long time.
Oh
So
boy.
yeah, I'm gonna predict Mike Vrabel. If I had to pick one, I think I'd pick Vrabel
Yeah,
too.
that's a very good point. I would pick Vrabel. I think even as a Packer fan, once again, I would say Vrabel deserves it more than Matt LaFleur, which is a shame 'cause Matt LaFleur kind of should have got it the past 2 years probably because he's
The
been like 13
the
and
problem
3.
with LaFleur is the storylines. He doesn't have like he has Rodgers. Everyone's like, ah,
That's true.
yeah, they're
Yeah, he has
good, you
Rodgers,
know.
so he's like, oh, he
And
has
he's
Rodgers, so
they've won 13 games the last couple of years. So like, ah, yeah, of course they're gonna win 13 games.
yeah, because it's so easy to do that. It's so
Yeah,
easy to do
yeah.
that. Anyways,
It's like the thing with Russell Westbrook getting the triple doubles. Like after he did it the third time, everybody's like, ah, do
you
we
always
care anymore?
yeah. So, anyways, all right. It's interesting how that changed. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think we both know this one. Pretty sure that'd be Mr. Micah Parsons. I think I actually predicted that too. I think did you predict that?
I'm pretty sure I did. I
Yeah.
don't think
So
either of us went
kudos
either
to
way.
us.
Yeah.
um, and there's not really much to say there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, man. I
Oof.
went with my heart. I said Zach Wilson. It's looking like it's gonna be Mr. Jamar Chase. Mac
I,
Jones was looking good.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
and then obviously he faded away. So I think it's Jamar Chase if I had to put my vote
I
in,
I think I took Najee,
and which is also
because
probably a good pick.
yeah, because the insane volume, which he did get insane volume this year. But yeah, I'd pick Jamar Chase. I'm gonna predict Jamar Chase. Mac sort of slowed down the last month or so, where Jamar had some monster performances to end the year.
Yeah,
And
Kansas City.
unfortunately, the way that NFL awards to work is that sometimes there's like some recency bias to like, wow,
He
anyway.
went off in
So
December. Yeah, like
yeah,
oh yeah.
so
So all
Jamar
right,
Chase.
and then the only one I'm missing is what comeback player of the year. That's an interesting one.
I heard on the radio this morning it was already announced. I don't know if that's factually true.
Let me Google this.
I know Pro Football Focus announced
Hmm.
who they picked. I don't know if it's like leaked. The leaked one from what I heard on the radio was Dak, which not shocked by just because he was a very heavy betting favorite for a lot of the year. Um, but I don't know if that's like the official
Hmm.
comeback player of the year.
I just Googled it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see anyone popping up like, oh, this person won. I just see odds.
Okay.
So let me pull up those odds because okay. So Dak, Joe Burrow, Nick Bosa, Carson Wentz. Honestly, and I'm not saying this as someone who's like quote unquote. I'm not even anti Dallas, but unless his Dak's been good, I mean, I think Joe Burrow, like he's been, I think overall better throughout the whole year. That's who I would bet. If Dak won, I wouldn't be like, oh, they're wrong. Like I could see Dak too. His injury is pretty bad too.
Who are you going to predict versus picks? You're picking Burrow, but do you think the NFL voters will pick Burrow
I don't
over
know,
Dak?
man. People love Dallas, and that's just a fact. That's why y'all are more
Yeah.
popular. I'm gonna go Dak, but if I was a voter, if I had a vote, I would say Joe Burrow personally.
Yeah. So I'm going to predict Dak as well. But if I was a voter, I wouldn't take either quarterback. I would take Nick
Yeah,
Bosa.
Nick Bosa also deserves more love because
Yeah.
he
I
also tore his ACL and he's
I
at a
just feel like, yeah, like
at,
he I don't think he played any of last year.
no, he tore it first game
Um,
last year too.
yeah. So there's that. Also just I don't know. I feel like the fact that the guy just hasn't really gotten any love and he has like what 15 and a half sacks on the year. Like you could argue that Nick Bosa's been a top 5 defensive end on the season. And for Dak, I wouldn't necessarily say he's been a top 5 quarterback. Joe Burrow, I feel like both of them are kind of similar in the same tier of like on the cusp of being top 5 this year. Maybe I don't know off the top of my head who I'd put in the top 5. So maybe like both of them are like kind of almost in there, but for Bosa, I feel very confident he was top 5 as his position on the year. Insane difference maker. If I had to pick one, I would take Nick Bosa.
Yeah, that's yeah, great point there. So that's comeback player of the year, and let me double check. Also, I want to throw in because I see coach of the year too. A few other noteworthy candidates: Zach Taylor, Cincinnati. They've big reason there, and then
Yeah.
also Nick Sirianni of Philadelphia, where everyone's laughing at him
Yeah.
about his. Yeah, so he may not be able to talk to the press, but they did grow into the flower good enough to get into the playoffs,
It's true.
which deserves some credit there. So and heck, they have what 2 first round picks this year too, as well. They have
Yeah.
the Colts
Yeah.
in theirs. So and the Colts didn't. Man, that was probably the only other team that was happy that the Colts didn't make it too, is because that's a bear draft pick for them. So
Yeah.
great for Philly. Now they have 2 first rounders to add to do whatever they want with. But I think
Do
that
they have the Niners?
they might. They have 3. Let me see.
They might have 3. I know they had 6 and they traded back, but then they also, yeah, I think they have 3 because I don't believe they didn't give a first to Dallas when they traded up to 10 from 12. So I believe they have the Colts from the Carson Wentz trade, the Niners from the trade, the Dolphins maybe from the Jalen Waddle deal. No, it'd be the
They
Niners.
have three. They have Dolphins
Yeah.
at 15. They have the Colts
Okay,
from
the
the Carson
Dolphins.
Wentz trade. The Dolphins, I think, have the Niners because the Niners traded up to
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
for the second
Dolphins
spot.
don't have their own. Yeah.
So they have the Dolphins at 15 and the Colts at 16. So they have two straight picks because those are locked. And
Right.
then they have their own pick, which could be 19 to 32.
That's
It'll be interesting
that's
because
some
like
great stuff right
they could
there.
package 15 and or 16 with what 15 or 16 with like their pick and move up too,
Yeah, I
and
hope not.
still have two premium first round picks or just use all three. Like it's wild. So
Anyway,
give credit to them too, and Nick Sirianni deserves credit. Philly's kind of been flying on the radar. Granted,
yeah,
not a lot of noteworthy wins, but hey, they've been winning the games that they should have won, and that's why
absolutely.
they're in the playoffs. So, alrighty, let me double
Do you
check.
remember, this isn't an NFL award, but do you remember who you picked to be the worst team in the league this year?
Uh,
I can't remember who I took. I feel like I took the Texans, but
I think we both took the
I
Texans.
might be wrong on
No,
that.
I'm pretty sure we both took the Texans. Like it's had to have been the Texans. Like it was a obvious pick, which ended up being Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I think we thought that at least Jacksonville would just
would
be
it
a bottom feeder
improve?
team, but they wouldn't be the worst team. Or maybe the
Right.
Lions. We may have also said the Lions, but I think we both went Texans because Lions still had like Jared Goff. At least
Yeah.
Goff was better than whatever the heck Texans were gonna have. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it turned out to be Jacksonville. So I don't think either of us picked Jacksonville. So we were wrong there.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so yeah, regards everything else, Patrick Surtain is like second in odds for defensive rookie of the year. Obviously played really well this year, but this Micah's just a stud. That's just point blank and period. So, alrighty. So that is the award predictions. So that'll be all for this one. We're just now that we're getting the playoffs, less teams to talk about. Obviously, speaking of Houston, David Culley got fired, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, I mean, if the plan is to get Brian Flores, it's a little bit understandable, but still, David Culley deserved a shot. I mean, but at least if you get Brian Flores, then it's like okay, it's a little bit understandable. Like, so we'll see what happens with them. But other than that, that is the podcast. Any questions, comments, concerns? I guess there's still like daily fantasy and such. So if you're doing
I'm not
that,
doing that.
and we're not doing that. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No offense to people that do that when I say this, but I'm just say this jokingly. But I'm not degenerate. I'm sorry. Like if you do daily, you are a committed person, and I respect it. But I'm not going to ever. But nonetheless, if you have questions, you can feel free to hit us up on our socials at Shut Up and Ball Pod. We'll try to help you as best we can. Once again, no promises. That's at Shut Up and Ball Pod on Instagram. Or if you have any other questions, concerns, you can tell us. Hey, screw you, the Eagles are going to win it all. You can say that too, even though we're going to say no. Also at Twitter is at Shut Up and Ball. Same thing with TikTok. And then YouTube is Shut Up and Ball on our Facebook as well. And we're on most podcast services. I have Apple and Spotify. So hope everyone enjoys your playoff weekend. And also if you have the Monday off for a holiday, because I know I do, I'm probably go golfing. So that'll be fun, depending on the weather. But yeah, hopefully your team makes it to the next round. My team will, because we're on the bye week.